The Mandukasana or frog pose is a yoga asana that represents the posture of a frog, hence its name. While you can't directly learn yoga from a frog, you can certainly draw inspiration from nature and observe how animals move and stretch to inform your own practice. Here, we'll show you how you might approach learning the Mandukasana with the metaphor of learning from a frog. Begin by observing frogs in their natural habitat. Notice how they sit and move, particularly how they stretch their legs and lower their bodies close to the ground. Pay attention to the ease and fluidity of their movement. As you practice Mandukasana, imagine yourself emulating the movements of a frog. Start by coming onto your hands and knees with your knees wider than your hips and your toes pointing outward. Lower your hips toward your heels, keeping your spine straight. Just like frogs, pay attention to your breath as you hold the pose. Frogs are known for their rhythmic breathing, and you can synchronize your breath with your movements in Mandukasana. Inhale deeply as you prepare for the pose, and exhale slowly as you lower your body towards the ground. Frogs are incredibly flexible creatures, and Mandukasana can help you develop flexibility in your hips, groin, and thighs. As you hold the pose, focus on stretching and lengthening these areas, while also engaging your core muscles to support your lower back. Like any yoga practice, learning Mandukasana requires mindfulness and patience. Take your time to ease into the pose, listening to your body's cues and adjusting as needed. Just as frogs patiently wait for prey, practice patience and persistence in your yoga practice. When you're ready to come out of the pose, release slowly and with control, allowing your body to return to a neutral position. Take a moment to observe your sensations in your body and notice how you feel after practicing Mandukasana. Remember that yoga is a personal practice, and what works for one person may not work for another. Approach your practice with an open mind and a sense of curiosity, and draw inspiration from the natural world around you, including the movements of frogs and other animals. Here is how to practice Mandukasana. Start in a kneeling position. Begin by kneeling on your mat with your knees together. So slowly spread your knees apart wider than your hips. Your feet should remain in line with your knees, and the tops of your feet should be flat on the mat. Place your palms on the mat in front of you, shoulder wide apart, with your fingers spread wide. Your wrist should be directly under your shoulders. Slowly lower your torso toward the floor, keeping your arms straight and your chest lifted. You can rest your forehead on the mat or keep your head lifted, whichever is more comfortable for you. Engage your core muscles to support your lower back and pelvis. Draw your navel towards your spine to maintain stability in the pose. Take slow, deep breaths as you hold the pose, focusing on relaxing any tension in your hips, groin, and thighs. Hold Mandukasana for 30 seconds to 1 minute, or as long as feels comfortable for you. If you experience any discomfort or pain, come out of the pose and rest. To release the pose, slowly lift your torso back up, bringing your knees back together. You can come back to a seated or kneeling position or move into a different yoga pose as part of your practice. Mandukasana can be a challenging pose, particularly for those with tight hips or groin muscles. It's important to listen to your body and practice with awareness, avoiding any movement that causes pain or discomfort. Over time, consistent practice of Mandukasana can help improve flexibility in the hips and groin, increase circulation in the pelvic region, and relieve tension in the lower body.